If you actually go to my blog of Ex-Boyfriend Recovery, I started Ex-Boyfriend Recovery back in 2012, and you go back to some of the very first articles I ever wrote back in 2012, one of the things you're going to find is how low quality and outdated they are. Why? Well, I was just a 23-year-old kid with little life experience writing about a very nuanced and complicated subject. Also, I didn't really have many success stories outside of one friend I helped who was pregnant and she got her ex back. But that's kind of like cheating. I think her ex came back to her mostly because she was pregnant with this child, which gave her kind of an unfair advantage. Now, it really wasn't until I started coaching in 2016 that the success stories began to really pile up, and we really started learning what's really working for people. Success stories are king. Remember that, because if you enter into a breakup industry or you get kind of seduced by someone saying, like, hey, this strategy works all the time, I would say test them by looking at their success stories, and that will tell you everything you need to know. Successful breakup practices will not be afraid to show you their success stories. It's one of the reasons why I make them available for everyone to see on our website and on our YouTube channel. Unsuccessful breakup industry or breakup practices, they will be afraid to show you, or you'll notice that they're not willing to get on and interview these people. My natural assumption when I started interviewing people is, why would anyone want to be interviewed? Usually it's an embarrassing thing to say you used a program to help get your ex back. But what I found is people are very willing to share. Not everyone, but most people are willing to share their experiences, so long as you protect their identity and won't show their face and just have a conversation with them over a podcast. Thank God for the invented aspect of podcasts, but I'm getting off topic. It really wasn't until we started studying our own success stories that we began to understand what the difference was between successful and unsuccessful no contact rules. Really, there's one core component at the heart of a successful no contact. Now, if you take one thing from this discussion, I want it to be this quote: ignoring them isn't what matters. Moving on from them is. Now, as I stated earlier, most people get seduced by the get-rich-quick aspect of the no contact rule. They see all of these success stories rolling in. All I had to do was do a no contact and it worked on my ex, blah, 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 blah. They think all they need to do is ignore their ex and everything will work out. But what I've consistently found from interviewing success stories is that ignoring your ex is overrated. Yes, it does work on a superficial level, but what really matters more than anything, what makes a no contact work, is your ability to get to a place emotionally where you don't want them back anymore, where you'd be completely fine if you never got back together again, but no one ever talks about that. And I understand why. Most of the time, the people willing to spend money in the breakup industry aren't the people who want to get over an ex. So the breakup industry, what they do is they cater to people who want to get their exes back. Again, guilty of this. The irony is that what's really prescribed to give you the best chance of success is engaging in a set of behaviors to where you are actually knocking your ex off the pedestal, getting to this place where you actually don't want them back anymore, where you are moving on. That's the secret no one in this industry wants to tell you. And what I found is that if you are upfront and honest with individuals about what's really working, they tend to respect you more, they tend to trust you more, which in turn leads to them actually spending money. That's the way to do business. Someone once told me that your effectiveness and ability to solve a problem will often correlate to how much money you will make. That's certainly a principle here. Well, I'm telling you that if you want to give yourself the best chance of a no contact rule being successful, you need to ditch the idea of it being this be-all, end-all tactic. You need to ditch the idea that your ex is going to come back if you just do a no contact rule. Instead, view the no contact rule for what it really is: a first step in a very long process to succeeding at getting an ex back or moving on from an ex. That's why it isn't working. The breakup industry has warped your mind and seduced you to the get-rich-quick aspect of it, but that's not how it works.